6'4", injury default because DeSanto got hurt and didn't have any injury time left, and so had to give up an injury default. And Spencer Lee started out with a technical fall, but a point taken away against the team. 6'4", and now a quick takedown for Nick Lee at 141.
And that's just a silencer for this crowd. Nick Lee with the early takedown. Of course, Carter Happel filling in for Max Murin. But how about that last sequence? You know, DeSanto had let the official know that he was hurt in the first exchange there off of the cradle, and then came right back to the same technique, basically, Roman Brodlovyan did on the counter. And he screamed out again, and that's when the referee, Matt Sorchinski, stopped it, and that's the right call. So just a huge, shocking turn of events. Now Nick Lee on his offense, and he's a guy that's hunting for team points in this situation, too. Great candidate for a major here. Switches off to his high crotch to a double. We'll see if he can add any back points to that.
Nick Lee out of Evansville, Indiana. Won a state championship in Indiana for Mater Dei High School. And then he took off his senior year, was homeschooled, and focused on freestyle. Twice he's been 5th in the NCAA. He's an All-American as a freshman.
Wow.
And as a sophomore.
Locked up near cradle again, and Happel's going to try
to locked up.
Fight it off here. He's going to step behind it. We'll see if he can go ahead and do it. If he gets he's got a, that's tight. That's it. That looked like it was rocked back and forth on that near cradle there. If he can step back aside and get his chest up over that by the shoulders, he can follow it up. Happel, there he does right there. This is going to be tough to stay out of, but Happel somehow does.
Happel fights out of it. Carter Happel out of Lisbon, a 4-time state champion in Iowa, a junior. Dad Dean wrestled for Iowa, and he finds himself behind Nick Lee 8-1.
Now another stall warning from the bottom position here. Way.
Yeah, Lee, he just keeps coming, Jim.
Yeah, I like his shots. I mean, that first shot he hit there, that head to the outside shot, switched to a double. He's also can attack both sides of the body, but he's got it on also a head to the inside shot to that right leg as well. So, and you know, where he impressed me last year was just his good heavy hips defense. When the guy gets in with a shot on him, he can really wear you out. Tough in the top position,
yeah,
rides on the right-hand side.
He really is tenacious on top.
But I think if he's going to look for a fall in this situation, maybe go from the feet to the back, but with short time, that's out of the question.
Takedowns, locked up a cradle, 4-point near fall. And that's the end of the first period. Nick Lee out in front 8-1, and Cale Sanderson, winner of the last 2 times he's brought the Nittany Lions into Carver Hawkeye. Can't be too upset about the start here. 6-4 lead after 2 matches, and Nick Lee working on a major at least.
Yeah, and you can see where DeSanto in that previous match there was, you can see where that knee got maybe extended, particularly with that toe getting out of a position. And so, you know, there was no reason to basically stay in that. Really didn't have much choice there when he screamed out of that position the second time, so that no injury timeout. But that's could have been what you consider almost a 9-point swing, because DeSanto was heavily favored.
I think that's a good call, Jim. It is a 9-point swing in as they
nice look at that shot, switches off to a double.
Yeah, Nick Lee continuing to work. He had an impressive win last week against Chad Red, a 9-1 major decision.
Yeah, you guys called that. And it was I got to take a look at that this morning, and it was just, you know, picked apart a really quality opponent. I think, you know, that was a 2-point match with the Huskers, and we know the Huskers have a pretty decent dual meet team. But coming all the way out to Nebraska a week ahead of time has helped, I think would help the Nittany Lions in this situation, coming back out to Iowa, kind of repeating the same process, duel on Friday.
Yep, they come out from a rec hall, making a haul out to Nebraska and Iowa, hoping to wreck 15,500 Iowa fans' spirits. And so far, they've made it quieter than the Hawkeye fans would like after that injury default win for RBY and a lead, and Lee working on a major decision and maybe more.
Well, he's looking for that cradle, right? Looking for a big move right there. He's coming collecting the points, but also looking for something that will take his opponent to the back. Knocks him down flat, 13-3 already. And Lee will likely take the down position. He has 3 minutes of riding time. Everything working his way.
Yeah, head on the mat for Happel, just trying to survive down there.
A lot of talk about Jaden Ironman coming out of his Olympic red shirt at 141 with the injury to Max Murin. And you could make a strong case for that happening here with Iowa's pursuit of the team title, and particularly if Murin is hurt.
Jaden Ironman, transfer from Missouri, a 3-time All-American. He's been 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Taken an Olympic red shirt, but he hasn't qualified for the trials yet, and one of the qualifiers is winning the NCAA tournament, so that would make some sense, being on a championship team.
And qualifying for the Olympic trials by winning an NCAA championship. And speaking of those trials, the entire USA Wrestling national freestyle team is having a viewing party at the Olympic Training Center. Bill Zadig, Joe Russell, and the boys watching this big meet. Shout out to those guys. And what a...
And like that duck under they just saw would work there, but this is a position where he's pushed the head down a little bit, maybe get out to the front, coming right back. You see, collect that bottom leg, maybe get to a Turk, bottom leg Turk.
Lee taking care of business here. A little more than a minute left in the 3rd period. 14 points. All he needs is 1 takedown. And that's it. And that'll be a tech fall. We've had a tech fall, an injury default, and a tech fall in the first 3 matches. 5 more points on the board for Penn State, 11-4.